What up? How's it going? It's Easy Drawings, and today I'm going to go over how to draw Santa in profile. It's going to be like a Santa drawing, but I'm going to do it from the side. And there's going to be another video later on how to draw him head on and, you know, maybe 3/4. So this I'm going to be doing, it's going to be for beginners. If you don't know how to draw, I mean, you know, this is kind of for you. I think I'm going to do it step by step, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to be using a pencil. It doesn't really matter what pencil you use as long as it can get a range of value. By range of value, I mean it can go very dark if you want it to, and it can go, you know, more or less light within reason. And that's it. You can use a charcoal pencil, you can use a regular number 2 pencil. It's not a big deal. So let's get into it. Right now I'm going to start with a circle, and I'm going to draw very light. And that circle, which you can barely see probably right now, represents the cranial mass of the head, kind of that, you know, again, like the brains, you know, the brain section of the head. Then I'm going to draw a straight line off the front, and that's going to be just where I'm going to line the front of the face. Since we're dealing with Santa here, he's going to have a huge beard, so I'm going to draw another kind of large shape out the front here, and I'm thinking of it as this almost large geometric shape, and that's going to be for his beard. Drawing a straight line kind of toward the top of the cranium, and that's going to be the cutoff for where he's going to wear his hat. You know, another line above, again, kind of the brim of the hat. This is really light because I'm not going to go in permanently yet, and I might even erase some of these lines as I go on. I'm going to put in kind of like a Pac-Man open mouth shape for his eye socket. I'm gonna go in here, pulling out his nose, and he's got kind of a, what do they would say, bright button nose or something, or what did they say? I forgot what they say about his nose, but it's gonna be in profile, so I'm thinking of it as a bit of like a triangle. You know, an obtuse triangle, obviously. You're thinking of it kind of organically, right? So does have that roundness at the end. Pulling forward, and that's gonna be his upper lip, which is the beard, you know, the mustache. And then the bottom of the mouth. And pulling down and connecting this large beard shape. And I will alter that shape a little bit. Re-examining this, the side of his hair is going to stick out the bottom because he doesn't have hair. That hairline pulling down into a connected mustache beard. And like I said, this doesn't have to be exact. If you're following along, that'd be great. If not, it's totally fun. Just watch, internalize it, and then maybe try it out again. Try it yourself. But it's good to internalize stuff, I know, at the beginning, because I take that much better myself. I would say, like, now I'm going to make a small ear shape right here. The ear tends to be, at least the front portion of the ear, tends to be about halfway between the front and the back of the skull. Generally, again, everything is general. You find these general proportions so that you can kind of alter them to customize to whatever you want. And I never really thought about Santa from the side, you know? Like, what does he have, like, the back of a hair or something? I think what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pull down his hat so it goes down in the lower portion of his head, of the back of the skull. I didn't like the way it was just sitting on top of his head. I want it to really be snug on his head and really cover a lot of it. So I kind of pulled that down. I just bent that shape. Drawing is a series of mistakes that you kind of correct. So you're putting that shape down lightly, right? So you don't have to, so you can erase it. And when you put it down lightly, you can see how it contrasts to the other shapes so that you can repair it. Pull the top portion of his head, you know, the hat kind of laying on his head here. It's gonna pull downward, that sock-like hat. there's gonna be a series of folds down here because the drapery is falling over his head and down back. Draw the ball of his hat. There's gonna be some crunching here of the drapery. If you're not very good at drapery, I'm gonna make a program on entirely about clothing, because I know that's a big issue with people. I am planning on doing that. Join the email list if you haven't. I'm gonna put it below. You know, just check that out because I get a lot of people asking me about that stuff. Pulling the rest of the hat down here, and it goes to a taper. So now what we're doing is we're still more or less light. And I'm gonna put the back of his collar here and his shoulder. I want that a little bit bigger. So what I have right now is a layout. I got my layout, I have my placement, because the placement is, in my opinion, the most important thing. It is the most, you can have a very amazing shaded rendered drawing, but if things are in the wrong place, it's gonna look bizarre, you know? Placement, structure, that is number one, in my opinion. And obviously everything plays into it, you know? But without that, I mean, that's like the foundation of the house. So let's go in, and I'm gonna start going in a little bit darker now. I'm gonna go in since the side of his face. See how much darker that is than everything else? I'm going into kind of the next chapter of this. Going to his eyebrow. Pulling down. The side of his eye. And I'm going to connect that to the eyebrow. The reason I want to do that is because I don't want any floating shapes. It makes them look too surprised. In a drawing, it just looks surprised. You'll find some things in drawings that are different than they would be in real life for that reason. You're interpreting something. Under the eye. Sorry, this pencil's short, man, so I gotta, you know, kind of like hold it far back so I'm not totally covering up everything I'm talking about. Going into the edge of the brim of the nose here. Underneath the nose. Shadow underneath the nose. And then the top of the wing of the nostril. I'm not throwing, that's not going to be very dark. And there's some construction lines I want to get rid of, and all I'm using is a number two pencil here. You know, for the eraser, I'd much rather get better erasers. I cannot afford it right now. It's Christmas time, so oh well. If you do want to donate one, let me know, and I will totally take it. I'm not even joking. I will totally take an eraser. Or just donate to my Patreon, and then I'll use that on supplies, because everything I talk about on my Patreon, everything I get in my Patreon, I use on this channel again. Alright, so now the back of the nose here. Going down into the upper lip here, up into the upper mustache. And see, I'm going to have to change the shape of that slightly. You're going to find that throughout, that things are a guideline. If you are learning something right now, if you do kind of like this type of learning or anything like that, please hit that like button, because then I'll know exactly what to do more of, you know, and what style as well. And I reply to every single comment, so definitely comment me so I can learn more about what you guys want, and I'll tailor this stuff to what people want. Pulling down. So now he's got that kind of mustache beard thing where it kind of hangs over his lip. So the bottom portion of that is going to be a little bit ruffly. I'm going to just move my pencil up and down, you know? It's nothing beyond that. It doesn't have to be that hard. And then I'm going to put the top part of, I want to do this without the shadow. Ah! Okay, the lights are good, but alright. Let me see this. Move the light forward. Okay, so I need you to see this. The top portion, like where it grows out, the top portion of where that mustache is growing out, I'm not going to do a very sharp line. Since this is a little bit leaning more on the real side, I'm going to make it soft like that. See how that's soft? By that I mean, see there's a hard line right here on his forehead? But this is hair growing out. I'm going to do kind of a soft line. It's going to be like almost like a fuzzy thing there. It's not going to be a direct, you know, like line for this drawing. So now I go underneath. Underneath is going to be a real lip. Real lip there. Get that mutton chop thing where it's going all the way back. And let's leave the front of his face alone for the moment. Well, alright. Let's go to the front here. And now I'm going to use the side of the pencil. And I'm going to think of that softness I was talking about. And I'm going to kind of put that into his beard. And he's got a white beard, right? So I can't darken it in very much because it's going to look brown and weird. It's going to look all strange, like he's got a big gray beard. No, he's got a white beard. Alright, I did that here. You can throw a couple of more in here for the effect. Then I'm going to go into the ear and shape that out. Make it a little bit more organic. If you need an entire video on just the ear, I believe I have one on here. If I can find it, I'll link it below. I know it's on the site though, for sure. Got the tragus over here, pulling down. And I'm not gonna lie, Santa's ear is not a big deal. I mean, just do the ear good enough. It will be fine. It's not like the eyes or the nose, you know, like the first things you look at when you see a person is like the face, right? The front of the face. The ear, I'm not gonna worry if somebody's ear is weird, you know, for the most part. So I mean, just do a good job with this, but you don't kill yourself over Santa's ear. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the bottom brim of his hat, and I'm gonna make that darker, but also a bit of a soft line because that brim of that hat, that's gonna be, it's fuzzy, right? It's not the same texture as his beard per se, but it's close, you know, it's fuzzy, you know. Same thing kind of with the front. A little bit of shadow here on the back, even though that is a white brim hat. Put a shadow over here as well. And so with the hat here, it's red. So I'm gonna shade that in. I'm gonna shade it in because we're dealing with black and white medium. And that is, I believe, it for the most part. Oh, also the red suit right here on his actual suit. Just take the side of your pencil and shade that in as well. All right, let me take a look at it. construction line right here, a couple of construction lines that are bugging me, but that's pretty good more or less. And you can keep kind of fiddling with this as long as you want. It's kind of up to you what you want to do with it, but that's pretty much it. That is Santa from a side view. I'm going to do another one with him at 3/4 and another one with him at the front. So if you like this, like, you know, you like the instruction I'm doing right here, hit me up on Patreon if you really want to learn from me. So if you want to learn from me directly, I have a Patreon, and there are different levels to that, from the smallest to the highest. From the highest, I literally kind of go over your artwork and figure out what is going on with you that you won't carry these mistakes. Because I've seen people carry mistakes for years, like years and years, and no one pointed out because everybody's too nice, or they don't get the honest feedback from a professional, and that's what I am. I go over it and, again, try to correct it, and then you have to kind of implement that so that you don't make the same mistakes over and over, and then you'll find that you'll level up in ways that you never thought. And the best way to do that is to have someone else that's ahead of you tell you you're doing this over and over again, and this is what you need to do. That's pretty much it. Hit me up there if you want. I'll link that below as well, so talk to you soon, and see you later.